All right, good morning. Good evening, good afternoon, our brothers and sisters over at Patreon. It's PastorDowell. Hey, me and my child just got finished coming back from town, and she was reading the whole chapter of Hezekiah 16, Ezekiel chapter 16. And of course, what the Most High did was broke down on nativity. And of course, he's referring to the house of Israel. And he talked about how that he blessed us, how that when we were nothing, he made something out of us. He took us when nobody else wanted us. He decked us with silver, with gold, and apparel, and jewels, and everything. And how did we reward him as a nation? Well, we decided to act just like a whore, and spurn him and spit in his face. So much so that we, as a nation, did so much so in our whoredoms, unlike any other whore in the history, even of the nations. I mean, we actually went and paid people to whore around with other nations. And one time, a few times he accepted us back in, but we just simply wouldn't change. Just would not change. And he finally just got rid of us, period, point blank. And so here we are today. Here we are today in the condition where only a few of us, a remnant, is going to be redeemed. And of course, I think I mentioned something about starting on the gazing. Now, before I get started, let me say this, and let me say this to everybody, okay? It's very, very serious business. Very, very serious business. Since we have crossed over from darkness to light. Since we have left the laws, statutes, and commandments of this world. That doesn't mean we're defined to heathens. That just means that we've after a higher calling for those of us who've been converted. But it's very, very serious business, the way the Most High Yah sees things. And all the analogies that he always does with us is he tries to use male and female relationships in order to explain our idolatry. You all know that when we come out of this world, we learn the ways of the heathen. We did just like the heathen. And you all know that especially us when we was men in the world, man, we salivated and lusted over beautiful women. And in this world, the Gentiles, they put a high regard and high honor on the beauty of a woman. They could care less about the content of a character or what's in her brain. All that is totally irrelevant. As long as she's beautiful, after the sort and consort or the construct of this world, they believe she's divine. And most people make the mistake over and over again going after that beauty. So what does the Most High say? Well, he's speaking to us as a nation. And he tells us many, many things concerning not only the beauty of a man, but the beauty of a woman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here and I'm going to get into the Apocrypha here. And we're going to go over a few things here, okay? And we're going to try to do our best to educate us, all of us. And we're going to try to bring us online as a nation of people the way our behavior should be concerning holiness, all right? Now, in the previous videos, I talked about how that a woman, especially a married woman, should never, ever be caught speaking with a man privately that is not her husband. It's always going to end up bad. Always going to end up bad. Somebody going to end up committing adultery. And it's going to tear up the whole damn house and everything. And so since many of you are not teaching your wives, your Ishaias, and your daughters the way that things should be, that's why Pastor Dowell's here today. But first, let's start off with a man, okay? Let's start off with a man. In the book, and mind you, we're drawing a lot of this from the Apocrypha. So we're over in the book of Ecclesiasticus. All right, and we're going to start at the 11th chapter. It says, "Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance." Stop. Do you know that male or female, you should not be going around speaking about another man's beauty or what you perceive to be his beauty. You shouldn't be doing that at all. Now, in this world, I sit and watch it in my generation growing up, and it's also systemic in all these generations. You'll get somebody out here that people don't know, and they'll become pop singers, rock singers, rap stars, or whatever. And you'll watch women, married and single alike, sitting up there talking about, ooh, he's a nice looking man. Ooh, he's a fine man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. They'll do this in the world, and they'll still even do it after converted. Ooh, look how wonderful he is. Ooh, and I may not be using all the words, but just pick the words. You all know what the hell I'm talking about. Sad part about it is you have both married and unmarried women speaking like this, and where they are greatly admiring another man, either for his beauty, his character, or whatever it is. Either way it goes, too much excessive talk about another man. If you are a married woman, it should never, ever, ever even come out of your mouth. I don't care how beautiful you think a man may be. You can think it in your mind, but you should never, ever, ever let it come out of your mouth, because it's evil communication. Because what you're doing, you're sending signals out to influence other people of unsuspecting minds that could be weak. And they'll think that that type of speech is okay. But think about this. It is the ultimate betrayal, at least for a man. Let me just use myself for an example. All right? I got his shies. And if I was to ever hear or get wind that my shies are admiring some pop star, rock star, singer, or even a brother in the ministry or something like that, and she's talking about how beautiful, how wonderful and stuff, to me, first of all, number one, that's grounds for me to put you away. And I mean put you away, I mean just get rid of your ass for a long time. And then I'll think about receiving you back into my house, because it's actually the ultimate betrayal, because see, it's the same thing that Israel did. We went out there and we started looking at other lovers. That's what we did. Go read Ezekiel 16. Read Ezekiel 16 and see what we done. And it's that same whorish spirit that came over from the world. And I even still hear it today in passing about how that you'll hear women, especially when they lower their voices, talking about the beauty or character of another man. That's way out of pocket. The most beautiful man in your life should be your husband. That's who it should be. And there should never, ever be another man in this world more beautiful and excellent, more comparable in character and excellence than your own husband, woman. Period, point blank. I don't give a damn how beautiful somebody is after the world saw it, or how well they can sing, or whatever the hell they can do. A woman should never, ever, ever speak about another man in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And at most, that's a good brother. But after that, nobody's good, though, isn't it? So I'm trying to show you little secret ways, cancerous ways, that women insert stuff. And they'll sit around tables. And women do stuff like this all the time. Now, men, when they were in the world, they would talk about women, how, man, that's a fine-looking woman and stuff. But do you know, ever since I've been in the faith, and I've been in the faith a long time, I have never, in close to 30 years, heard men actually sitting around talking about the beauty or the character or the shape of a woman. It just doesn't even enter into our conversations whatsoever at all, because the majority of the time if you do that, especially around in the ministry, you're usually talking about somebody else's wife. And if you're doing that, you're gendering right on to spiritual adultery. You're adulterers and adulteresses. And then when you go to the second part of it, would you really lust after and salivate after and speak about your sister? You know, Elder Rufus said it best a long, long time ago. He said, you need to start looking at your wives and these sisters as your sister. And then you wouldn't have all these damn problems. Something like that. And that's the problem. See, we have things that sneak over from the world and come over into this, and then we justify it. Are you following me? And I'm telling you men, it should be the same way. You should actually sit your wives down your Ishai's down and tell them, I better not ever in any way, shape, fashion, or form hear you commending a man because of his beauty, his character, or how he can sing, or the way he looks, any of that stuff, because it's all spiritual adultery. Every bit of it is. Let's see what it says again. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. And not only that, even if a man is not that great looking, you ain't in no position whatsoever to run around and say, that's an ugly man. That's an ugly man. Because remember, as the old saying goes, beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone. And over again, the Bible always puts a fair woman, a virtuous woman, a woman of a meek and quiet spirit, far above rubies, far above natural beauty. That's what it does. So if it's good over there for the men to see it that way, then vice versa for women this way. And men, I'm telling you, you pay attention. You hear any rumblings, or you even think about your wives, your Ishais, or even your daughters speaking this way, any way, shape, fashion, form, that's conversations that was out there in the world. It should never, ever happen in Israel, because you're opening up a door for Satan to come in. It's just another nefarious way for lust to enter in. All right, so let's go over here. And let's look at some more other things, what it says. Over in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 8, it says in verse 4, and matter of fact, well, Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9, and let's read from the first verse. It says, be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Give not thy soul unto a woman. Now, the prophets even speak about that in the King James Version of it. It says that don't give your soul, don't give your heart over to a woman, to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with an harlot. Did y'all hear that? Don't go out here fooling around with whores. Don't meet with whores, lest thou fall into her snares. Then look at this, what it says, verse 4. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer. You know, a woman that can sing and stuff, and she really sounds good. As a matter of fact, you keep your ass far away as you can away from her. That doesn't mean that y'all is abhorring singing. He just tell you don't even use much company. You hear that? In other words, don't sit there and entertain that and get it, because brothers and sisters, we all know, for those that's been around a while, there is a law of attraction. It makes no difference if you're married or single. It doesn't make any difference. Feelings and emotions get involved. And you can cause yourself to allow your heart to go out too far, to where you're starting to think on things, act on things, and do things that you normally wouldn't do if you were guarding your heart. All right? So let's go on here. Look what it says. Lest thou be taken with her attempts. That means that singers, or whatever it is, there's a spirit about them that causes men to be taken with their attempts. Then it says, gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things which are precious in her. Gaze not. You know, gazing is just looking, constantly looking. You know, I see that a lot of times around on feast days. Whenever we have a lot of feast days, and I see, notice it said maid. That means just women in general. I see men just sitting up there just gawking and looking and staring on me. I'm like, what the hell? What spirit is that? Is that not the same stuff that we used to do in the world? And then we're going to bring it over here in Israel? I mean, it just don't make any sense, does it? But yet and still, who pays attention to the warnings that are sitting right in front of us? If it tells you don't gaze on a maid, then damn it, don't gaze on a maid. That's why over and over again, I often say it. You heard me say it once, say it 1,000 times. I want one sister in this ministry to come forth and tell me at any given time, tell the whole world, at any given time, that Pastor Dowell has ever, in any kind of way, shape, fashion, or form, ever made you feel uncomfortable. Be it a look, be it a touch, which I don't do that much at all. Most of the touch is mostly fist bump or something like it, or a waving or something like that. You don't ever see my spirit. You don't ever feel my spirit going out to you. You never ever feel me trying to draw attention or get your attention. I don't do that with no woman. I don't care, married, single, makes no difference. I don't do it with none of them, period. I got my quiver full with my Ishais. If I wanted to feel after someone lovely or something like that, I got my shots. I'm not going to turn around and allow my soul to be compromised and to be gone out. And I definitely, especially a man in my position, I can't allow that stuff because the enemy is just right around the corner. And what does he always use to get a man to fall? A woman. But look what he says. It says, give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thy inheritance, and look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof. Then look what it says. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman. And boy, that is one of the most difficult things that there is to do in this world, especially when we are immersed. I mean, you go to the airport, all right, and my youngest child, it's amazing she'll see me going to the airport or something like that and stuff. And if I'm having to make dealings with someone or something like that, she notices that whenever you can't help but to see a beautiful woman when you see her. But she notices quick, fast, in a hurry. When I see one, I quickly turn my head, I turn my eyes, give no attention whatsoever at all. And I believe, I don't think I'm misquoting, she says, I believe you the first man I've ever seen to do that. The first man I've ever seen in my life ever do that. And I told her, I said, I just love my soul too much. I really, truly do. And I fear this word of Yah. And you know how it is out there because they're wearing in and out of everything out there. They don't even leave nothing to chance with the attire that they're wearing out there today. And they do everything out there in that world that they can do to allure through the lust of the eyes. Well, even in the ministry, there's a natural beauty that our Israelite daughter of Zions have. It's just a natural beauty. Some of them are just downright damn gorgeous, period. That's for us too. You see a beautiful woman, you turn your damn eye. Don't try to sit up there and make eye contact, get her attention and all this old other shit. It already told you don't even gaze upon her. What the hell is going on? And I realize that people today, they are looking for wives. Wives are looking for husbands. That's fine. All you have to do is make your request known. That's the easiest way to go about doing it. And then you either get a yay or nay. But you don't have to sit there and lust, salivate. You don't have to sit there and be tempted in your mind, to be drawn away in your heart. You just don't have to do that. You really, truly don't, if you really, truly love your soul. But it says, turn away thy eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herein love is kindled as a fire. See, that's why I keep telling you, all it takes is just one look and one thought, and the next thing you know, the emotion comes in to solidify. And if you're not spiritually discerning, it would have you deceived and thinking, believing that you're right in feeling this way. It could be somebody else's covenant. It could be somebody else's daughter, and you haven't went about the lawful way to go about doing it. You see, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about doing things in Israel. And if we're going to be set apart and we're going to be holy, we're going to have to adopt these attitudes. I'm serious. It's like up in Green Bay. I think maybe the only woman up there that I hugged outside of my own family, my immediate family with my child, was maybe my Muncie. And even at that, I just basically just bumped my shoulder against her, and that's about as close as I get. Everybody else, it was a fist bump. And I think maybe soon, maybe I bumped my shoulders with her, and that's about it. That's about it. Because I get it. People love Pastor. I'm Papa or something like that. Pastor Corey's wife, Sister Gabby, she's like a daughter. Just seriously like a daughter to me, like Erica. It's just utterly amazing. But what I'm getting to, brothers and sisters, you've got to be holy. Y'all, you follow me? You got to be set apart. You can't do the same things that you used to do in the world, bring them over here and think that they're all right, because it's not, because we deal with spiritual wickednesses in high places. But while we're here, we might as well go ahead and read on. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money at her with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through the look. thy desire, that's what I've been trying to say the whole time, you fall into destruction. Now, first of all, again, I personally don't even know why another man would even have a reason to even talk to somebody else's wife. The only way I can think about the way that a man would have to be able to talk to somebody else's wife is if they're communicating something that has to do with ministry, business, short, to the point, sweet, and that's it. That's about it. That's all I can see. See, we have to guard our heart because this verse right here tells you clearly what happens with all our hearts. No discharge. When we go contrary to this, when it's talking about sitting not down with another man's wife and sitting not down with her in thy arms to spend not thy money with her at thy wine, first of all, you don't eat because that's just too intimate. You don't eat with another man's wife. You don't eat with your sister. That is not your betrothed. All right? Look, lest thine heart incline unto her. That's what I've been saying this whole entire time. There are ways that our heart goes out to be inclined. And through thy desire, thou fall into destruction. And see, in desire, passions, it starts getting flame, getting rage. I'm telling you, it's a spiritual problem. And you know what? Hardly ever repented of. Hardly ever repented of. Oh, man. Anyway, these videos sure do turn out long. But anyway, these teachings do. So we cover that with a man. We cover that with a woman. Let's go over here to one more. Let me go to Ecclesiastes 25, okay? No, yeah, Ecclesiastes 25. All right, look what it says. Verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. You hear that? Don't be sitting up there. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, don't sit up there and be looking and gazing on men or females. I'm telling you, to what a point you just can't take your eye. You can't even control yourself. Don't do that because you're going to get yourself in trouble spiritually, for real. And verse 19 said, all wickedness is but a little wickedness of the woman. Let her portion of a sinner fall up on her. All right. We can go on in many, many other different areas. I think we done pretty much exhaust that for right now. We'll look for the next installment coming up here soon. I hope this is some way, somehow bringing edification, exhortation, and comfort. One thing I do know is that if we follow these principles and these teachings, we will keep ourselves in the love of Yah. And not only that, we wouldn't be tempted to go out here and commit whoredoms on Yah by going out here serving other mighty ones or even be tempted. I mean, you've got to understand, guard your heart. Guard your heart with all diligence and especially guard it from your natural family that ain't born again, ain't regenerated. All right, look forward to seeing y'all again.